So I came on here after the first 10 games of the Sixers season when many thought that their season could be not great, to say the least. And I said that they weren't doing so well, but I did think that they would be able to turn the ship around. And there was a sense overall in the league that once Embiid got back to being healthy, once Paul George was healthy and they have their big three, that they would be able to turn things around. And yeah, they would end up as a lower seed, maybe have to go through the play-in. But as of today, things are absolutely different, and 100% I am completely changing my opinion on what the Sixers season should look like, and I'm here to tell you that the Sixers should tank the rest of this season, and I think Joel Embiid should be out for the rest of the season, if not also Paul George. So let's dive into what has gone wrong this season, as well as what is going to happen for the rest of this season and what should happen going forward. So despite a bad start, many thought the Sixers would be able to turn it around once Embiid came back. They were maybe like 3-10 or 12 at one point, but a team this good with a guy that was actually third in MVP odds going into this season, they would be good enough to turn everything around, but that is absolutely not the case. Even when their big three was healthy, they have not been good. This team just is bad and should not be performing as bad as they have been this season so far. Paul George has not been good, just flat out not very good at basketball this season. Next up, when we talk about the rest of this team, as of this recording, February 22nd, the Nets game a few days ago, they lost to the Brooklyn Nets. With Paul George, Joel Embiid, Kelly Oubre, Tyrese Maxey all starting. And they played against this Nets team that didn't even have a lot of their better players, and this Nets team is not very good at all. Nick Claxton hit a game winner on the Sixers. As a 10-point favorite, the Sixers were, if not more. That's how embarrassing this team has been performing this season, and it doesn't seem like it's going to be getting any better anytime soon. So in Embiid's 19 games he played this season, he was averaging 30 minutes, 23.8 points, 44% from the field, and 29.9% from three, with about 8 rebounds, 4.5 assists, and not a full steal at 0.7. So down on every single stat compared to his past few seasons, and what would end up being some of the worst stats that he's ever put up in his career, going back to maybe 2019, when even then he was putting up more rebounds per game and still shooting better from both the field and a three-point area. So overall, even when he did play this season, he was not good. The past 2 games that he played before it seems like what should be the end of his season, February 20th and the 22nd, he played 27 minutes and 31 minutes, scoring 15 points and 14 points respectively in both of those games, going 4 for 13 in one, 0 for 6 from 3 in one of those games, and then 3 for 9 overall and 0 for 2 in the other game. So just really not himself this season. And in the 2 games where he played a lot of minutes, 36 minutes and 38 minutes, he only scored 29 points and 27 points respectively as well, which isn't the Embiid that we know. Those would be off nights for him in the past when he was putting up nearly 35 points per game last season, 33 the year before that, 31 almost the year before that. So it just seems like there's something going on here. It's really hard to watch him play. He just almost can't even move around. And I think that Joel Embiid should be shut down for the rest of this season. This Sixers team is bad, and at this point, they now own their first round pick. Before this, they weren't really sure what was going to happen. Maybe they would have been able to work their way back into the play-in, but they're bad enough now where they do own that pick, which is top 6 protected, and would go to the Thunder if they're outside of the top 6. But they're at a point where, since they're now in that conversation to get that first overall pick, maybe not the first one, but at least a top 3 or 4 pick, they should go out there and they should shut down Embiid for the rest of this season. Maybe even shut down Paul George. I don't know if he's hurt or not. It seems like some days he just doesn't play that well. I don't even know how to put this season for him. 16.1 points per game. He's only played 37 games up to this point. He was hurt for a while. 42.9% from the field, which isn't good by his standards, especially what we've seen before. 35.7% from three, which also isn't really great for his standards as well. The worst that he shot from three since the 2022 season, which he only played 31 games in that season as well. So, I don't know. The only bright spot on this team so far this season has been Tyrese Maxey, who has proven that he can be a great player. 38 minutes per game. It seems like almost every night he's going out there and playing, putting up 27 points per game, almost 45% from the field and almost 35% from three. He's been getting 6 assists per game as well on top of that, with almost 2 steals. I mean, everyone in the league knows that Tyrese Maxey is very good at basketball. Jared McCain was another bright spot for this team, and that's why this team had hope. But once he was hurt, Paul George was hurt, Embiid was hurt, this season really has become a wash, and I think it is time to shut it down. The Sixers are going to lose by 20 plus points as of this recording. I'm recording this while they're playing the Bulls right now, and they're currently down 85-61 against the Bulls. They were favored to win this game, and yes, Joel Embiid wasn't playing, but you're telling me that this Sixers team with Tyrese Maxey, Kelly Oubre, Paul George, Quentin Grimes, who's having a pretty decent year, is losing to the Chicago Bulls, who traded away Zach LaVine, arguably their best player. It's just a sad season. They shouldn't be as bad as they are, but it seems like they're just surprising so many people, and seems like they're getting worse every single game. And when we look online, I mean, if we look at Tankathon at this point, like I said, they're in the top 6. They're only 2 wins above Toronto for that 5th pick. And, you know, Charlotte with LaMelo playing at 14-41 as of this recording, the Sixers 20-36. Who knows? I mean, the Sixers just are awful right now. If you can't beat the Bulls, if you can't beat the Nets, who are you realistically going to beat? Like, Maxey might go out there and put up 40, but the rest of the season isn't easy. I mean, you have teams like the Bucks, the Heat, the Timberwolves, the Knicks, even teams like the Raptors and the Heat are both playing a lot better than the Sixers right now. The Hawks, I mean, I'm taking almost anyone over this Sixers team if they're going to continue to play like this, because even with their stars playing, they're just not that good. I don't know how many games they're going to win the rest of this season. I wouldn't be surprised if it's in the single digits. I don't even know if the Sixers are going to reach 30 wins by the end of this season, which honestly may be a good thing. Maybe you go in and tank, try to trade Paul George in the offseason. Some people think they should trade Embiid. I'm not really sold on that yet, but Jared McCain, Tyrese Maxey, and maybe try to get rid of Paul George for some younger pieces as well. I don't think Nick Nurse is the issue. I don't think that he should be fired if they have a bad season, but the way that this team is currently looking, I think you just shut down Embiid for the rest of the season and just continue to tank. Let Tyrese Maxey have some good games, but really you're not playing for anything at this point except for a high overall pick. Let me know down below what you guys think. I don't really think there's many other options for the Sixers right now, but let me know what you guys think if you have a different opinion, and I'll see you in the next one.